of America, or if you hear from Chuck Coughlin, they'll say that Corrections Corporation of America has no plans to house any people caught in Arizona by local governments, illegal immigrants, that is. But Maricopa County, Phoenix Police Department, we don't deport illegal immigrants. When someone's picked up on the side of the road or for a crime, they're taken to the jail. At that point, their immigration status is determined. If they're an illegal immigrant, they're reported to Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Then they're taken to one of these private prisons, Corrections Corporation of America. So you'd have to do the math, but if you increase the number of people who are picked up, illegal immigrants, increase the number that are sent over to ICE, you're likely going to increase the number that companies like Corrections Corporation of America are going to be housing. Right now, I think they're charging ICE here in Arizona about $11 million a month. They have about a 5% vacancy rate that they keep for big busts or that kind of thing. So obviously that number would go up, and they would have to make extra accommodations to handle more illegal immigrants.
And given that, as you explained it, the arrangement already is that people picked up in Arizona on immigration violations already go to CCA, CCA can fairly say, we're not pushing or lobbying to have these inmates, these detainees brought to us. The fact remains that they just will be. Morgan, last year when Arizona pushed to privatize essentially its entire prison system, that made national headlines. No state had ever tried to do that before. What kind of influence does the private prison industry have on the legislature in Arizona?
We've spent a lot of time looking into that in the last couple of weeks. I mean, who would have thought that the private prison industry would have any kind of influence anywhere? But as you mentioned in your piece going in, they have facilities all over the state of Arizona. What we found is they contribute money to state lawmakers, to the governor, to some of our other key lawmakers. They engage the most powerful lobbying groups here in Arizona. These are lobbying groups made up of former state lawmakers, former high-ranking public officials here, people who are close to the governor and other legislators. Pay them a lot of money. Those lobbyists give money to these legislators. In addition, in Arizona, we have a mindset among a couple of key legislators that privatizing the prison industry is a good thing. As you mentioned, they tried to privatize the entire system last year. The governor did veto that after the state corrections director sent her a letter saying, look, we can't imagine having death row inmates in private prison systems, and having death row inmates being taken care of by the lowest common bidder. They don't think that's a great idea. Our state attorney general said he didn't think that was a good idea. But that bill went down. There are other bills that have moved forward. We've got a request for a proposal out on the table right now for 5,000 additional beds for private prisons to come in here and take up. That would double the number of inmates we currently have in the private prison system here in Arizona. There are two sides in this debate here in Arizona, and they're sort of locking heads right now. This escape from Kingman certainly putting a new shine or a new view on the issue. It's remarkable that I guess it's remarkable that even running death row for profit at this point has to be proposed before people realize that it is a bridge too far. I have one last question for you, Morgan, and you mentioned the state attorney general. I know that he's actually been quite outspoken on this issue. Do you feel like either with this escape in Kingman or with any of these other issues that the public has a recognizable position on this issue? Is it becoming a campaign issue at all, political issue for the state? Well, looking at it from the outside, it's clear that it is becoming a campaign issue. You have a governor with close ties to the private prison industry. Her opponent, the Attorney General, has been very outspoken against this. He's calling for the state to stop putting any dangerous inmates in these private prison systems, account for all of the dangerous inmates, and then reevaluate whether we should move forward with this 5,000-bed request for proposal. It's hard to tell right now whether the population here in Arizona thinks that private prisons are a key, issue for this election coming up. But I'll tell you, we'll find out in the next 2 months.
Morgan Loew, investigative reporter for KPHO, the CBS affiliate in Phoenix, Arizona. Thanks for your reporting and thanks for sharing it with us, Morgan. Really appreciate it.
My pleasure.